Hello students, in this class I am going to summarize you people, that is the quick summarization on the topic virus, the complete detail on virus what we studied up to till. We seen the viruses. What are viruses? These are the crystallizable, cellular, non-living infectious agent made up of proteins and nucleic acid which are obligatory intracellular parasites. We seen the definition of the viruses here. These viruses, which means the poison. In Latin word, in Latin terminology, the virus which refers to the poison. Here, the history regarding the virus, the term derived Latin, that is the viron, means the poison. Benjamin called viruses as the contagium vivum fluidium. The contagium vivum fluidium, which is given by the Benjaminic. Later, Louis Pasteur discovered and developed the vaccine against the rabies and anthrax. Invoxy discovered TMV, that is the tobacco mosaic virus. Loeffler in 1897 discovered the first animal virus and foot-mouth diseases in viruses. Popper in 1898 discovered the poliomyelitis virus, that is the polio virus. Stanley in 1935 first time crystallized out the TMV viruses. This is regarding the history. Next, the origin. These viruses are found wherever there is life and have probability existed since living cell first evolved. This is the first cell evolved where the virus can be found. The origin of viruses is unclear because they do not form fossils, so molecular techniques are used to investigate how they arose. In addition, viral genetic material occasionally integrates into the germline of the host organisms, by which they can be passed on vertically to the offsprings of the host cell for many generations. That is the transfer of DNA or RNA from parent to its the offspring, that is the germline, to the germline. This provides an invaluable source of information for paleovirologists to trace back ancient viruses that have existed up to millions of years ago. Only based on this presence of DNA and RNA, we can able to find out the kind of viruses present. Here, there are three main hypotheses that explain the origins of viruses. First one is the regressive, second is the cellular origin, third one is the coevolution, which we seen in detail in our regular classes. Next, these viruses are simple cellular entities consisting of one or more molecules of either DNA or RNA enclosed in a coat of protein. Sometimes it may be additional substance such as the lipids and carbohydrates. Some viruses particles often termed as the viron, the smallest particles which are called as the viron, comprising of nucleic acid core of genetic material enclosed within the protein coat. The amount of protein viruses varies from 60 to 95%. It starts from the range 60 to 95%. The particular percentage that depends on the particular species. The viruses contain a nucleic acid core of genetic material which may be either DNA or RNA. Here the genetic material is maybe of either DNA or RNA. The viruses containing DNA are termed as deoxyviruses. The viruses which having the DNA as the hereditary material, those are called deoxyviruses, and those having RNA are termed as riboviruses. The nucleic acid core is enclosed by a protective sheet called the capsid. This is capsid. This is the protective sheet present. Each capsid consists of several identical protein subunits. Those are known as capsomers. The subunits which are known as capsomers. Proteins may be of the single or several types. These proteins may be of single or several types. The number of proteins and the arrangement of capsomers are characteristic feature of viruses and thus can be useful in their identification and classification. Here, we classify and identify the viruses mainly based on the number of proteins present and the arrangement of the capsomers. Here, these multiply by two methods. The virus reproduction that takes place by two methods, that is the lytic cycle and the lysogenic cycle. These viruses are on the borderline between the living and non-living things because we call viruses as the obligate. Obligate means they are present, they are get the metabolic rate only when they present in the host cell. Outside the host cell, they act as a non-living thing. They show a varied range of shapes. They may be a spherical, such as in adenovirus and influenza virus. The structure is the spherical one, rod-like in tobacco mosaic virus. In tobacco mosaic virus, it is the rod-like or many-sided, such as hexagonal, pentagonal. In the case of the bacteriophage, we have the hexagonal shape. The structure of virus is very simple because these are acellular forms. There is just a core of DNA surrounded by a sheet of protein. There is no cytoplasm, no nucleus or no cell membrane. Hence, they are acellular forms. Viruses are not living, not free living. They grow and multiply only in living cells. The reproduction of virus is one characteristic which they share with living organisms, but they reproduce only within another living cell, that is in the host cell. Outside a living system, these viruses neither produce nor respire. They act as a non-living one. The viruses causes various diseases in specific hosts like plant, animal or in bacteria. This can cause the diseases to the host cell, that is for the plants, animals and other living organisms. Viruses which attack bacteria and infect bacterial cells are known as the bacteriophage. These viruses, if it attack the bacteria or it infect the bacteria, called the bacteriophage, or else it infect the other organism, just simple called as the phage. They destroy the host cell by reproducing within them, as we seen in the T4 bacteriophage, how it destroys the host cell. Next, the classification. Due to the ultramicroscopic size, the presence of both living and non-living features and the absence of fossil records, it is very difficult to classify the viruses. On the basis of their host range, clinical, epidemiological and pathological symptoms, viruses are classified into following four types. Here, viruses are classified based on their host range, clinical, epidemiological and pathological symptoms. Those are first one, the plant viruses. Here these viruses infect only plant and depending on the host, they have been subdivided into bacterial virus, algal virus, fungal virus. In plant viruses, they are subdivided into bacterial virus, algal virus and fungal viruses. Second one is the invertebrate viruses. These infect only the invertebrates. Third one, vertebrate viruses. These infect only the vertebrate animals. The fourth one is dual host viruses. These viruses infect two different hosts, that is the vertebrate and invertebrate. It have the ability to affect to the both invertebrate or the vertebrate virus host cell. Next, in 1948, Holomus included all viruses in a single order called the Virales, having three suborders. This is single order, that is the Virales, having the three suborders, that is the Phaginae, Phytophaginae and Zoophaginae. The first one is the Phaginae, where this suborder includes bacteriophages. In second, Phytophaginae, this suborder includes viruses infecting the plants. Zoophaginae, here this suborder includes virus that infecting the animals. This is regarding the classification of viruses. Next comes here the general characteristic features of the viruses. These viruses are ultra microscopic in structure. They do not have cell and the cellular structures. Hence, those are called the acellular structures. made up of the proteins and the nucleic acid. Here, the nucleic acid is either maybe of the DNA or RNA. This do not respire and shows the metabolism when they are outside the host cell. They are obligate parasites because they reproduce only inside the specific host cell. These are insensitive to the antibiotics. This is regarding general characteristic features of viruses. Here, the some points regarding the living and non-living features of viruses. First, we will see the living features. These viruses are made up of nucleic acid and proteins. These are made up of nucleic acid and proteins. That is the heredity material. Nucleic acid is either maybe a DNA or RNA. They have the antigenic properties. Some of them possesses enzymes like lysozyme, reverse transcriptase, etc. Reproduce only inside the host cell. These are the keys for the living features. In non-living terms, they do not have cell and the cellular structure. They are crystallizable out, insensitive to the antibiotics and do not show the metabolism outside the host cell. Next, regarding the size. In recent times, the size of viruses was determined by the filtration technique through collodion membrane of non-porosity. But now, with the advancement of the technology, ultracentrifugation and electron microscopy are employed. Here, the size varies from 10 to 300 nanometer, in some case 10 to 400 nanometer, up to it ranges from 10 to 400 nanometer. The smallest viruses are enteroviruses, which has less than 30 nanometer in diameter. The smallest viruses is enteroviruses, which is less than 30 nanometer in diameter. The largest is orthopox viruses, measuring about the 240 into 300 nanometer, that is in length and breadth. That is approximately 1/10 the size of the red blood cell. The bacteriophages are measuring about the 65 nanometer into 200 nanometer. This is regarding the size. Here, the virus structure. The virus structure comprises three main components. Here we study the structure based on three main components, that is the presence of nucleic acid, either DNA or RNA, the capsid and the envelope. Here, this is the typical HIV virus structure. Here we have the outermost layer called the envelope protein. Then next to the envelope protein, there is the presence of envelope. Next to the envelope, there is the presence of viral genome. This is the viral genome, that is either maybe a DNA or RNA. This is capsid, the nucleic acid capsid, which encloses the heredity material. And this is cellular bead arrangement called the viral tegument, which provides the protection to the capsid. Capsid gives the protection to the heredity material. This is the typical structure of HIV viruses. Here we have seen regarding many types of viruses, their structure. The first one is the human immunodeficiency virus, that is the HIV. Here the presence of glycoproteins. These are the glycoproteins. The heredity material is the RNA, presence of capsid, reverse transcriptase enzyme, the presence of reverse transcriptase enzyme, the presence of lipid membrane. The bacteriophage, where we studied in detail regarding the head, tail, sheet, collar, tail fiber in bacteriophage. Influenza virus, here adenovirus, tobacco mosaic virus. This is the capsid. These subunits are called capsomers. These subunits are called capsomers in tobacco mosaic virus. And this is the Ebola virus, where we can see the presence of lipid membrane, capsid, RNA and polymerase enzyme. This is regarding the different shape and sizes of the viruses. Here, the viral structure types. There are many different classification systems for viruses. Viruses can be classified based on the structure of the capsid, genetic material, biological and physiochemical properties. etc. Here, these viruses can be classified based on the structure of capsid. Here, the presence of capsid. Which kind of capsid is present? The presence of genetic material, that is the DNA or RNA. Here we have again the types, that is the single stranded, double stranded, single stranded DNA, double stranded DNA, single stranded RNA, or the double stranded RNA, and the biological and physiochemical properties. However, most commonly they are classified structurally or morphologically. Here, the most classification is based on the structure and the morphology behavior they exhibit. The first one is the helical form, icosahedral form, prolate, that is the presence of prolate, the presence of head or tail. Fifth one is the complex or asymmetrical form. These are the types of structure types in viruses, that is helical form, icosahedral form, prolate form, head or tail, that is the presence of head or tail. Next is the complex or the asymmetrical form. Next, the functions of structure. What is the function of structure? Here, the capsid present that protects the nucleic acid or the genetic content from the damage, such as the EV late or the nucleases. Nucleases, this is the enzyme. This capsid protects mainly the viral structure from the UV light or from the nucleases enzyme. The envelope of the viruses aids in the infection processes by initiating the attachment process. The envelope that helps in the infection process by initiating the attachment process. Proteins present on the viral capsid as well as envelope help in the delivery of the viral DNA into the host cell. The different structure and orientation of capsid provide the virus with the rigidity, symmetry and the shape. The capsid helps in the packaging of the genetic material of the viruses. These are the functions of viral structure. Next, the bacteriophage. We studied in detail regarding the bacteriophage. Here, these viruses which infect the bacterial cells, those are commonly known as the bacteriophage or viruses of bacteria. These bacteriophages were first observed in 1915 by Taught in England, in 1917 by Harelle in France. Harelle used the term for bacteriophage as the eaters of bacteria because they destroy the host cell. Bacteriophages are found in all habitats where bacteria can survive and live as obligate parasites. They found in soil, fruits, sewage water, milk, vegetables and root nodules of the legumes. Some phases have also been found in the intestine of birds and animals. In human beings, phases can be found in intestine, urine, blood, saliva, pus and nasal exudate. These are the presence of the viruses. Next, the structure of bacteriophage. Here we can see the 2D form. This is the 3D form. Here the typical structure shows the presence of head, the presence of collar. These are the protein sheets. This is the base plate which helps the attachment of tail fibers. They are attached to the base plate. Here the head and the body. This is the head and this is the tail part. Head and tail, that is the connected with the help of collar. Collar which connects the head and tail part. This is regarding the structure of bacteriophage. Next, the types of phases. Here basically we have two types. The first one is the T phase, that is the T1 to T7, where T stand for the type, that is type 1 to type 7. These are characterized by the presence of tail and exhibit the largest groups of phases having double stranded DNA. These characterized by the presence of tail and exhibit the largest groups of phases having the double stranded DNA. T phases have been divided into following subgroups. Again, this T phase has been divided into the two following subgroups, that is the T even phase and the T odd phase. T even phase includes T2, T4 and T6, that is the type 2, type 4 and type 6, where the odd phase includes the type 1, type 3, type 7, that is the T1, T3 and T7. This is regarding the types of phases in first one. Second, the virulent or temperament phase. Here, as we know, viruses for microorganisms are called phases, and those for the bacteria are called the bacteriophages. If the virus that infects the microorganisms, those are called the phases. The viruses that affect the or the infect the bacteria, those are called the bacteriophages. Here, a virus can be thought of as a genetic element within a protein coating. When injected to a cell, this genetic material may alter the host so that its energy and metabolism are directed entirely toward the making more virus particles, and ultimately the host cell dies. That's why these are called the eaters of the bacteria. Some phases are also actively seeking cells in which to reproduce. Other phases can attach to the bacterial chromosome and remain passive for the long time. Here, the active phases are called the virulent. These active phases are called virulent and the passive ones are called temperate or lysogenic. Here, the active phase is called virulent, the passive ones are called the temperate or lysogenic. They may become virulent if when the system is shocked by an event such as temperature or pH change, but some host cells survive and continue to multiply. When not in their virulent stage, temperate phase have no discernible effect on their host. When they are present in the active phase, they infect the host cell. When they are in the passive form, they loses the tendency to infect the host cell. T4 is one of the many virulent phase that infect the E. coli bacteria. Its sheet fascinates to the cell wall and constructions forces some phase DNA, that is the phase DNA or RNA here, into the cell to make into a factory for making more phases particle. Here the functions of virus structure. What are the functions of virus structure? Here, the first function is the capsid protects the nucleic acid or the genetic content from the damage of UV light or the nucleases. The envelope of the virus aids the information processes from initiating the attachment of processes. Third one is the proteins present on the viral capsid as well as the envelope help in the delivery of the viral DNA into the host cell. The different structures and orientations of the capsid provide the viruses with rigidity, symmetry and shape. The capsid helps in the packaging of the genetic material of the viruses. This is regarding the functions of the viruses. Next comes the reproduction. Here, the reproduction takes place by the replication, especially that is by two methods, that is the lytic cycle, second one by the lysogenic cycle. Here, although the basic mechanism of penetration and multiplication is similar in all the viruses, the process is best studied in the bacteriophage. These multiply by the two alternate methods. These are the two alternate methods. That is, first one is the lytic cycle, the second one is the lysogenic cycle. Here, in lytic cycle, this operate under the T1 bacteriophage. The T1 bacteriophage, these multiply by the lytic cycle. This cycle involves the following four steps. The first step is the infection. The second one is the synthesis of phase components in the host cells. Third one is the assembly of new phase particles. Fourth one is the liberation of phase particles from the host cell. These are the four steps which involves in the lytic cycle. Here, the entire cycle of phase development is completed in 30 to 90 minutes. Here, the entire cycle completed in 30 to 90 minutes. In an infected bacterium, there are 7 to 8 particles are formed per minute. Per minute, 7 to 8 phases particles are formed. The total number of about phases in bacterium are 200. 200 phases are formed in a bacterium. Here, the first step, attachment, where attachment, the infection. What will happen in infection? Here, the infection starts with the adsorption, that is the attachment. Adsorption of the phase on the host bacterium with the help of its tail fibers and transfer of phase nucleic acid into the host cell. Here it first get attached to the host cell and later what will do? The entry of phase DNA and degradation of the host DNA. Once it get attached, it releases its hereditary material into the host cell. Next, this adsorption depends on the mutual affinity of the phase and the bacterium. This attachment is mutual based on the mutual affinity of the phase and the bacterium. Some phases infect a particular bacterium and absorb themselves at a specific site only. The specific site is also called as the receptor site. In case this is the specific site, this is the specific site. It is also called the receptor site. Here, once it enter to the host cell, what will do? It start to damage its bacterial DNA. It start to damage its bacterial DNA. It will start taking the control over the host cell. Which one? The viral genome that start to take over the bacterial gene within the host cell. Here, the synthesis of phase components in the host cell. What will happen in the synthesis? Here, inside the bacterial cell, the phase nucleic acid takes over the protein synthesis machinery of the cell, as I said before. It suppresses the bacterial protein and directs the metabolism of the cell to synthesize the proteins of the phase particle. What it will do? First, it suppresses this. See here the difference. This is the bacterial DNA and this is the suppressed bacterial DNA. See the differences here. Why it will suppress? Because it gives the direction to synthesize its own protein. Next, it is accomplished by the synthesis of viral specific mRNA. Here, it will start synthesizing its own DNA or RNA, that is the specific mRNA, that is messenger RNA. Synthesized proteins called the late proteins. Here the synthesized proteins are called as the late proteins. At the end of the replication of phase nucleic acid, the late protein synthesized called the phase lysozyme. Here the late protein at the end of replication, the synthesized, which is called as the lysozyme. Here, see, here the synthesis of viral genomes and the proteins in this condition. They start replicating its own structures by forming its genome, that is the viral genome, by suppressing the bacterial genome. In next case, that is the assembly. What will happen in assembly? The assembly of new phase particle. Here, assembly of nucleic acid and proteins, that is the late proteins, into a new phase particles, and this state is called the maturation. This is called the maturation period. This period is called maturation. This process controls by viral genome. This is controlled by the viral genome. It includes the condensation of nucleic acid in crystalline form. What it will do? It condensation of nucleic acid in crystalline form, the aggregation of protein subunits around the DNA to form the head. It will start creating the head. How? By the aggregation of protein subunits around the DNA. There we will get the head. Next, the attachment of tail with the head. Here the attachment of tail with the head, before that it will form a attachment of core tube with the tail plate. Next, the attachment of tail fibers to the end plate. By step, they will start joining its structure, that is the head, its tail part, then the tail fibers. It will start synthesizing, which is controlled by the viral genome. This all activity is controlled by the viral genome. See how they are arranged, how they are properly arranged. The head, the tails, the tail fibers, they are arranged systematically to give the structure. Next, the release or the liberation of phase particles from the host cell, which is also called the release from the host cell. Here what we will do? Here, lysis of the host cell is essential for the liberation of phase particle. Here, the breaking of the host cell is necessary because to liberate the newly synthesized phases. It is done by the lysozyme secreted by the phase DNA in the host cell. This lysis, that is the breaking. Lysis means the breaking. It will done by which one? This is done by the lysozyme, which is synthesized as the late protein. It will rupture the host cell and helps the phases to liberate out. Here the host cell ruptures as a result of lysis and phase particles are liberated out as the individual unit. Here they are liberated out as the individual unit. This is regarding the lytic cycle of T4 bacteriophage. Next, second one is the second type is lysogenic life cycle, which is also called as the lambda phase. Lysogenic life cycle is also called as the lambda phase, where lytic cycle is not operated. Such case, it operates the lysogenic life cycle. Hence, these are the alternative replication methods, that is lytic and lysogenic. First, in lytic, that is operated by the T even phases. Apart from T even phases, they operates the lysogenic life cycle. Here, what will happen in lysogenic life cycle? Here we have the bacteriophage. The process is same. The first one is the absorption, second penetration of viral DNA, the integration of viral DNA, the induced by UV radiation, the lysis of bacterial cell. The process remains the same. The steps are different. Here, some phases do not cause lysis of host cell and exhibit lysogenic cycle. These phases multiplying by this method known as the lysogenic phase or temperate phase. These phases multiplying by this method, these are known as lysogenic phases or the temperate phases. And these participating host cells are called lysogenic cells. The participating cells are called, host cells are called lysogenic cells. The phase injects its DNA into the host cell. The linear phase DNA becomes the circular and integrate with the bacterial chromosome by recombination. Here, before injecting its hereditary material, here the bacteriophage, which shows us the linear form, this form, linear form. When it injects its bacterial hereditary material into the host cell, what it will do? Here what we have in the host cell? We have the bacterium, this is the host cell. We have the bacterial DNA and this is which is called as the lysogenic strain. This is called the lysogenic strain. What will happen when it injects its hereditary material? Here the protein coat becomes empty. After injecting hereditary material, the protein coat of bacteriophage become empty. Here the presence of, now it is the presence of viral DNA. This is the bacterial DNA. While injecting, this is in the linear form, this form. After the injection, it will convert into circular form. See here, the circular form. And here, integration of viral DNA. In case this is the bacterial DNA, it come and combined with bacterial DNA. Here, this is called the recombination. This is called the recombination. This recombinant phase, which is called as the prophase. Here both, and this the inserted phase called the prophase. The inserted DNA called the prophase. Here the activity of prophase gene is repressed by the two repressor proteins which are synthesized by the phase genes. Here, the activity of pro genes is repressed by the two repressor proteins which are synthesized by the phase genes. Each time bacterial cell divide, the prophase multiplies along with the bacterial chromosome. What happens? Each time the bacterial cell start dividing. With the bacterial cell, the prophase which will also start multiplying after the induction by UV radiation. After the multiplication, here the viral genome releases out from the bacterial here, which releases out separates. Here he difference, see the difference. While the recombination, here both the viral and bacterial DNA are fused together, that is the recombinant or the recombination. Here they are released out. The viral genome, that is the released out. Next, what will happen? Here the lysis of bacterial cells. The newly synthesized bacterial cells, those are released out with the help by the process lysis. By lysis, they are released out. Now they are individual phases. These released phases are now individual bacteriophages. This is in lysogenic life cycle. Next, we seen regarding the economic importance. Here we studied both the positive impact and the negative impact. Under the negative impact, we studied that these many viruses can affect the birds and animals. In animals, especially the foot and mouth disease in animals, that is in domestic animals. In plants, the yellow plant disease, that is especially in the rice. Next, it affects the food industry, especially the milk industry, milk processing unit, because it have ability to suppresses the lactobacillus that is present in the milk. We have seen many negative impact. Later, we see few of the positive impact of the viruses which are counted under the economic importance. Here, those are phase typing of bacteria. The first one, the phase typing of bacteria. Second, the source of enzymes, which is used as a pesticide. Next, it is used as a bacterial agent. These viruses, which are again used as the anti-cancer agents. These are used as the gene vectors of protein production and which are used as a gene vectors for the treatment of genetic diseases, which we have seen in detail regarding the economic importance in our last class. Hence, I am not going in the depth. Just I am lighting out the important features of the economic importance. That's it. This is regarding the economic importance. Next, we studied regarding the viroids. What are viroids? The smallest size of the viruses which are called as the viroids. These are pathogenic agents in plants. They show unencapsulated naked small cellular DNA molecules, or they show unencapsulated naked small cellular RNA molecules and are a few hundred nucleotides long with a high degree of secondary structure. This is regarding the structure of viroids. They lack the protein coat of viruses. They lack protein coat, whereas in viruses there is the presence of protein coat. These organisms do not code for any protein. These viroids do not code for any protein. But in case of viruses, when it injected in the host cell, it will code for the protein synthesis, that is the M specific protein. They replicate in the nuclei of infected cells. These viroids only replicate in the nuclei of infected cells. Viroids rapidly move from cell to cell and through the phloem. Here, these viruses can rapidly move from cell to cell and with the help through the phloem. They can be readily transmitted mechanically in the field by vegetative propagation and some with the help of the pollens and the seeds. These can be readily transmitted mechanically in the field by vegetative propagation and some by pollens and some by the seeds. This is regarding the viroids. Hey students, I tried to summarize out in one single class what we have taught in previous 8 classes regarding the viruses. This is the summarized class. Next class I am going to deal with the bacteria. Now we completed the viruses in unit 1. Here the subtopic is, next one is the bacteria. Now we completed the viruses. In next class I am going to start with the bacteria. Thank you.